Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. So let's start on the 4-hour chart. Solana still in a situation in which we are probably either in the wave 4 or just about to start a wave 3 extension before we then come into the wave 4 pullback zone. That means we have two pathways here. Still, that's unchanged. They are both part of the same overall scenario here on the 4-hour chart. That scenario is quite clear. We have on this time frame a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside, a wave 3 to the upside, one more low to come in wave 4, one more high in wave 5. This time frame is quite clear. So anybody who wants to avoid the chop on the smaller time frame, the main support level remains at $47. It's been the same for many weeks now, especially since the December high. Should there be another high, we have to adjust this support area a little bit together with a price. At the moment, that's not needed. At the moment, we have a pullback on the Solana chart, and I have no confirmation that the pullback has ended, which means it keeps the door open for lower prices in the yellow count, but as well, it keeps the door open for higher in the white count, which is, again, it's the same scenario. It's just two different pathways how we would eventually get to the same, let's say, outcome, a wave 4 and a wave 5. Why would it keep the door open? Well, because as long as the move to the downside is impulsive, is not impulsive, but indeed corrective, which means we have overlapping price action, we can keep the door open for higher. Yep, there is a level. If that's broken, it would confirm rather the yellow count, but ultimately wave 4s, even in the white subwave structure, they can be quite deep. It's not ideal, but I cannot take it off the chart really until the yellow count is confirmed further. So this time frame is quite clear. As I said, we have a nice pullback, but in the yellow count, for example, it should be more extended, okay, a more extensive pullback, because the wave 2 that happened between July and September, it basically took, 2 months, right? I mean, this so far only took a few weeks, and that's unlikely enough to be all of wave 4. If we look at the wider sector, also Bitcoin, it seems reasonable to assume that the yellow count might be already at play. That means that we're already in this larger wave 4. But really, unless you have a crystal ball, there's no way of saying it. So all we can do with the analysis is to determine our bullish support, which level needs to hold so that we can still expect a fifth wave afterwards. And that's here the $47 level. Whereas I'm not suggesting that we will go to 47. I'd rather say we have key support levels there, 47, $59.40. I wouldn't see that unrealistic, and $79.34. As long as this move remains corrective, the door is open for higher prices, either in wave 5 in yellow, or before we start this yellow wave 4 in another extension of the third wave. The important an important comment here that I have to make is that even if this wave 4 is already unfolding, there's no need to really move deep into the support area. You know that wave 4s can be triangles, a particularly annoying form of a correction, but it's possible that this entire form here, or entire pattern, forms into a very long corrective sideways triangle, but I have no evidence for it. So with a triangle, we always need to be careful that we do not put it onto the chart too early, that we do not confirm it too early. I've seen various triangles break in 2023 and before, obviously, so that's why I always avoid to confirm a triangle too early. It means that, there are more than, I think, 12 or 13 corrective structures in Elliott wave. And if you put a triangle onto the chart, it can easily morph into what would be a WXY pattern or something different, and then go the other way eventually. Okay, so we don't want to put that onto the chart too early, because a triangle would suggest, okay, we form a triangle, then we break to the upside. Whereas it's often possible that such a triangle, which would be an A, B, C, D, E pattern, morphs into I don't know, it could look like a triangle that it makes a leg up. That's the X wave, and then it goes down, things like that. Okay, and then this is the Y. So all of these transformations happen in corrective structures, which is why I say, we've got nothing clear here on the smaller time frame. As long as we are on the in a correction, there are just too many variants to really give us a very clear structure or setup. Clearest setups emerge when we have either a high probability, let's say, scenario that would need an impulse into one direction, or we don't have that on the smaller time frame, not on the 1 hour chart. So if we have an impulse, then we can wait for the pullback. We don't have that. We have corrective structures up and down at the moment. Well, or you have a good setup when the reward and risk ratio is really attractive. I also don't have that at the moment. The chart is a bit in no man's land. And but as I said, as long as the move to the downside is corrective, we have to keep the door open for higher, which would be the white subdivision. In this white structure, the market possibly finished a smaller degree fourth wave. Here, still unchanged on Wednesday, the 3rd of January. We're now forming some kind of a flat structure, which would be an A wave. Then we could get a B wave down and a C wave rally. Again, if we form and complete this flat structure, there is another corrective pullback. It could keep the door open for a C wave higher into the white box. Whereas this move that I've just shown you could also be yellow wave B. If we then see an impulse down and a corrective rally, that could be a short trade setup. So there are a few setups that could come from here, emerge from here, depends on the time frame you're looking at. And then obviously there's a short trade setup. But for now, the market still, as you can see, it's moving in the apex of a triangle, but potential triangle. It's not really an Elliott wave triangle. It's pretty ugly, but we have an ascending trend line, a descending trend line, they meet. And that always means it's a balance of forces. So literally there's nothing clear. We have to wait for the direction of the breakout. Whereas I would have to say that a break below the last swing low that was made this week, which is here the $92 level, if that is broken to the downside, for me, it would already confirm to a degree the yellow count, and a break below the last swing low before that on Monday the 8th. At $85.50, I mean, that would be a confirmation, further confirmation also that the yellow count is unfolding. So essentially, I think a good setup would be also just, if a pullback occurs, waiting for it to find some support in this orange box, because it should really turn around here for the fifth wave to the upside. So this really remains a difficult chart at the moment on the smaller time frame, and we have to remain patient. And that's often difficult for a lot of people. But there are many other charts which provide good setups at the moment, or provide, because we're currently in a pullback. Okay, that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.